Hi Dragons, what's up? It's Nikita Dragun, and today I'm coming at you with a very highly anticipated story time video. If you guys remember, I've been mentioning this story for so long now. I've mentioned it on Snapchat, Twitter, Periscope, Grindr, Tinder, on my freaking gravestone at this point. I just have had this story looming over me for quite some time, and a lot of people still don't know the story. A lot of my close friends still don't know the story. So everyone sit down. I'm sending this link out to not only my friends and family, but as well as you guys, and I'm super excited to share this. Well, should I be excited to share the story? Make yourself super comfortable because girl, we're about to spill some horchata. So this story is all about my very first date. That was a horrifying, tragic thing that now I just want to be celibate, run into the mountains, sing The Hills Are Alive with the sound of music. So this story starts off super simple like any other good story. I was going to an event, to a beauty blogging event, and I was, very snatched. I had a really nice ponytail. I think you guys can recall what night I'm talking about. I had on a really cute black dress, and me and my friend were headed out to this beauty event. And this story all pertains and is wrapped around this photo booth, guys. At this event, there was a photo booth. The photo booth was just right there, and it was taking pictures of, people, obviously, but it printed out a picture of 4, and the picture, it wasn't like a photo booth where, you got into it. It was actually against a wall. They had someone drawing you. They had like a DJ. They just had a lot of stuff, but for some reason, the photo booth was the end all be all, I guess you want to say, to the story. There was a point in the night when I went over to get a drink, and I was standing by the photo booth, and I was just, watching people, whatever, and I was kind of, my back was faced towards the photo booth because people were taking pictures in there, and all of a sudden I feel a hand just grab my fucking wrist. And I'm not sure if you guys are different from me, but when someone grabs my wrist, especially, you can feel a man's presence. When you feel like a man grab your wrist, like I'm ready to throw down. I whip my weave around so quick, and I'm like, oh, excuse me. And I look, and I just kind of see a figure. I just see a tall man, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm right by the photo booth. Ugh, stupid Nikita. I'm probably in the photo. And this poor guy who's running the photo booth is telling me just to move out of the camera because my arm is blocking it. Duh. So I'm like, oh, okay, sorry, but I turned around very quickly. Let's just say I was ready to fight. The night continues. I'm having a bunch of fun, again, with my friends. It's super amazing. And while we're all leaving, we decide, you know what? Let's go take a picture at this photo booth. We walk over to the photo booth. Everyone's getting in line and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, there was a little prop station right next to the photo booth. So I was over there digging around in the photo booth in this position. And I'm looking, I'm like, okay, I need to have the best stuff. This photo needs to be bomb. I'm looking, I'm shimmying. All of a sudden, I feel a presence, again, like earlier before, of, a man around this area as I'm like digging through the stuff. And all I hear is, oh, you guys aren't even ready. You guys aren't even ready. Come on. Like, she's not even ready. She's not even ready. Come on, Dragun. I look up, and what do I see? I see a tall 6'4" mixed Latino man with some like suave comb over, button up. I think he had a tie on, possibly bow tie. I think it was a tie. Suave looking man. And I was just like, oh, okay. And of course my friends were in the background like, ooh, girl. Like, it was so much of that. And then he decides to be all coy and be like, oh, actually, you know what? I don't even know you. I'm just kidding. I just saw your necklace. And girl, okay, not this necklace, which obviously he could not read, but this tiny little dragon necklace that I'm sure was hovering over, said area. So I was like, oh, you saw my necklace in this area? God, girl. So then I'm just back standing with my friends after this guy had just known my name, which whatever, NBD, but kind of weird. So I'm with my friends. Okay, we're ready to pose. We're posing. And the guy is just supposed to click on the machine and, we be on our way, take our 4 photos and like, let's go, you know what I mean? But then he decides to stand there and start throwing all these really like, pickup phrases. Is that what they're called? Pickup phrases. Very like, oh, I don't have a Tinder, but I'll right swipe the fuck out of you. Like, you're so beautiful. I know what I want when I see it, and I want you. You're looking so good tonight. Da 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 da, yada 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 yada. Honestly, it was just such a moment because, you know, I'm sitting there with all my friends at this beauty event. I am just not in the setting where I feel that like I'm gonna be hit on, you know? So this man continues to fire off these one-liners at me while I'm with my friends, and I'm standing there like, oh my god. Like, I honestly couldn't help myself just because I felt, you know, like, how could you not like just blush, be like, oh my god, you know, I mean, he's a very handsome and attractive man, and for that to be all happening in front of my friends, I was just dying. Like, I didn't know what to do. So after we take our pictures, photo booth guy finally admits to me, he was like, oh, by the way, I wasn't trying to grab you earlier to tell you to move out of the way. I was trying to grab you because I wanted to talk to you. And I was like, oh, you wanted to talk to me, huh? And this is when I started to go dragon mode. I was like, okay, Nikita, you can't let this guy play you for just a little teenage girl. Like, grow up, grab your chi-chis, and get on. Like, be a fierce ass bitch, you know? And I was like over it. So I was like, okay, bye. I need to leave. My friends are leaving. Tiptoe, bye. Leaving. All of a sudden, he grabs me again. I whipped that ponytail so hard, like, bye, and I was tiptoeing, and as my ponytail, my Bellamy ponytail, discount code below, was flinging in the wind so graciously because it's so soft and so detangled, you know? His hand was going out to like grab it, and I was like, ugh, don't grab my hair. And then he just had to come back with, oh, you don't want me to grab it? You don't want me to pull on it? You don't like that? And I was like, okay, don't grab my hair. And I was like, oh, girl, still blushing at this point. Walking away. And he goes, wait, what about our photo? And I was like, what do you mean our photo? He pushes the damn button, runs in, and literally the first photo just lights off. And I'm like, this in the very first photo. And I was like, okay, Nikita, get your shit together. While this is all happening, my poor zaddy friends were just over on the side screaming at me, Nikki, let's go. And I'm like, no, wait, hold on. Like, trying to like pose and all this stuff and like whatever. And I'm like, please wait for me, no. And then as this is all ending, I'm like, okay, I gotta go. Thank you so much. You're cool. Peace out. Bye. And he's like, wait, like, what do you, like, hello, where's your number? Give me your number. And ladies, gentlemen, everything in between, let me tell you something about giving a man your phone number. Never give a boy your phone number. What you do is you get the number from him, put it in your phone, and when you decide to text him, when you're kind of feeling a little lonely, like you need a little snuggle, then you text him or call him. And then I head home. I'm sitting down on my bed like this situation. I'm starting to tell this very story to my roommate, and all of a sudden I hear a call. Photo booth guy is already calling me. I guess my game totally worked. I answered. I'm like, hello? We start talking, and of course, it's just like when we met, you know, it's very back and forth, him making these jokes, me not, I'm just like being like, oh my God, because it's not like it was offensive in any way. So I don't want you guys to be like, oh, he was just being a fuckboy, da da da. It was just funny, you know, he was saying it very jokingly. So that's why I was like laughing, because it was super funny. And then it got a little serious pretty quick, you know. He was talking, making jokes. All of a sudden, he was like, oh, by the way, I kind of lied. I do know you. He basically told me that we actually have a mutual friend who showed my videos to him, and he watched my videos, he looked at my Instagram, and he was like, yeah, I mean, I know I watched some of your videos, I looked at your Instagram, and you know, I da-da-da-da, and I was like, well, I mean, that's not fair, because to me, I think it's a little unfair if a guy knows about my Instagram or YouTube prior to meeting me, because I feel like, I mean, I am the same exact way I am online as I am in person, but sometimes I feel like if it was someone, you know, someone could just misconstrue some of the things I do or some of the things I say online. Girl, this horse chop that got me all messed up. He responds back with a, oh, I mean, it's whatever, but I mean, I know you're transgender, so I mean, it's not a really big deal, you know, it's whatever. I mean, when were you gonna tell me? And I was like, I'm sorry, like, hold on, I've mentioned this so many times in my other videos, but I'm very open and honest with telling boys that I'm interested in that I am transgender, and it's not really like a big thing to me, you know, but I tell them when I am involved. You know, I had just met this dude. I just gave him my number. This is the first time we're talking. Like, what if he was a complete butthole, which I kind of should have, you know, seen the red flags already and just ended it. But to me, I was like, I'm not trying to hide it, dude. So I was like, I'm not trying to hide it. Anyway, so then we continue on talking for about like 2 hours. La-di-da-di-da. So this is the meaty portion of this story. He finally hits me up. He asked me to come hang out. He's like, let's hang out. I'll come over to you. Let's take some photos, you know, because he's a photographer. He's like, I'm going to take some photos of you, and then we'll be on our merry way. Let's go get dinner, maybe see a movie, you know, like, let's hang. He comes over. We walk to the like angel wing things here in where I live, and we take some pictures. I had not eaten all day, so I was starting to get a little hangry, I will admit. And I was like, okay, are we going to dinner? Are we going to dinner now? We sit down at this restaurant, and this is kind of like my restaurant. You know, I always come here with my friends, so I'm very like at home, at peace. Let me get my burger and fries. I have no shame about getting a burger and a fry on the first date. And I'm sitting down, and all of a sudden I start seeing him pulling out his phone and trying to Snapchat me. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's very, I'm just trying to snap you. I want to send it to our mutual friend. And I was like, oh, why do you want to send it to our mutual friend, Mr. Photo Booth Man? Do you want to just, I don't know, prove that you're on a date? Like what are you trying to snap him? I'm so confused. And then he goes, what did you say? I said, are you trying to send a picture of me to our mutual friend? Because, like, why? Why are you trying to do that? He's like, no. Wait, what did you say before that? I'm like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? He's like, wait, do you think this is a date? And I'm like, yeah, you asked me to dinner and a movie. And he's all, oh, no, oh my gosh. This is a total mix-up. I'm so sorry. He's like, look, I'm gonna take you on a date, but this right here, right now, is not a date. So I'm sitting here absolutely horrified because this entire time I thought this was a date, and this guy literally says, oh, it's not a date. And I'm like, what? I told everyone I was going on my first date today, and it's not a date. After that, it was just no recovery, and things just go really downhill from there. It's actually so funny because I remember a Cosmo article, and I remember my sisters, my mom, everyone telling me if a man brings up his ex, get up, walk your ass out the door because he's not over his fucking ex, girl, and you need to fucking leave. But this man brings up his ex. He goes, oh, we should go into that building and take some more pictures because there's a room and it lights up pink and it's really, really cool. So yeah, we should go in there. Actually, you know what? I shot pictures of my ex in there, and it just looked so good. So like, we should do it too. Like, it would look so amazing. I get up, we're leaving. Finally, thank Jesus, I should have ran so fast. And I mean, I was annoyed so much at this point. Walking out, and he's all like, no, let's go to the movies. Like, come on, let's go to the movies. And I'm like, okay, I did not get this cute to not go and do stuff. We sit down, and all of a sudden he does the arm thing. The movie's starting, the lights dim. He does the little arm thing, the reach over, and I lean in, and I'm like, oh, my wig is being pulled. I'm like, oh God, this is not as comfortable as they make it seem. And then ultimately I was like, you know what? Push him off. This is not a date. This is not a date. And then I just sit there for the entire movie. I swerved him so good, so hard, so fab. And the movie ends, we walk on over back to where he had parked. I didn't give him a kiss. I didn't give him a thank you. I just said goodnight. I went on my way. Oh, but you thought it was over. You thought there wasn't more. This photo booth guy is actually a real photographer, And he had an instance where a model was staying over at his house, and it was just kind of weird. I was like, okay, whatever, you do you, whatever. And he was just sending me photos of the model, and he was like, yeah, I really like the model because she's just always down for whatever, and like they do very avant-garde. Then he goes as far to send me photos of this girl, fully vagine open, rectal exam girl. Oh my god. He ends up calling me again multiple days later. I think it was honestly a week later, because I didn't respond or anything. And he was like, hey, what is something wrong? And literally the dragon inside of me came out. I went full dragon on his ass. I told him everything. I was like, honestly, I feel so fucking disrespected. Don't fucking try to come for me. Sit your ass down, have several seats. So somehow in our very brief conversation, he snuck in the fact that, oh yeah, I hooked up with her and honestly, it wasn't even that great. Whatever. Hang up. Peace out, dude. Oh wait, this story gets a little juicier. Photo booth guy actually had a stack of photos from the night that we had met. You know, it was just different people, whatever, and he was showing me our picture, which he had reprinted, I guess. And as he's showing me the picture, I'm looking at it, whatever, it's cute. And then I'm looking through the other ones. I was like, oh, whatever. Oh, what's this picture? And so I pull out the picture and I look at it, and it's him very intimate in the same way that him and I were in the photo, in another photo with another girl who's also transgender. And I'm not saying that in reference to anything. It was just also one of my other friends. And I was like, oh, this is kind of weird. And it's just something that I noticed, you know, I'm not saying anything about it, but it's just something that I noticed. And I was like, oh, you know, my friend, da 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 da. And he was like, oh, is that her name? He's like, oh yeah, she's like, she seems like really cool. Like, I just had that particular instance in the back of my mind because it got brought up again, because after our whole ordeal and everything, he texts me and goes, by the way, what's the name of that girl that you had mentioned earlier? That one that the photo one. And I was like, why? Why do you need to know her name? He's like, oh, I just really want to shoot with her. And I'm just like, okay. I'm hanging out with my other friend who's also trans, and she's telling me, she's like, hey, I got a DM on Instagram by this guy, and he says he knows you. He actually has a picture of you on his Instagram, and he wants to do a shoot with me. Like, do you know him? And I looked at the thing and I'm like, okay, so he's going after my friends now. But it was just so weird because when he was DMing and talking to my other friend, he made it sound like him and I were really cool. After I had told him off, blocked him and everything, he was like, oh, I know Nikki, like we're, you know, I shot her before, we're really good friends, da 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 da, trying to, you know, lure this poor girl in. And at the end of the day, it's whatever. He can make his own decisions. He's a grown ass man, but I personally will have nothing to do with him. Comment down below if you guys have a crazy first date story as well. Maybe obviously crazier than mine. Mine wasn't that crazy. It was just crazy for me. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, Tinder, Grindr, all at Nick Dragun, as well as give this video a big thumbs up with my long fingers. Does that look sexual? Also comment down below if you guys like these kinds of videos, as well as if my nipple was popping out, if my hair was shifting, if this wig looks nice. Comment down below if you are the guy who's probably watching right now. Moral of the story is have fun, get out there, be you, experience life, but don't, and I mean don't ever let someone disrespect you, and especially if they're a fuckboy, because then you just light their asses on fire. Duh. End. The end. Thank you again so much for watching, and don't forget, breathe fire, my dragons. Ah, ah. Ooh, ooh. Cheers, girl. Cheers. Ooh, girl. I finally did it. I finally told my story. Yes.